All right, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thanks for joining us and thanks for taking the time to do this very quick tutorial demo on social horsepower and how we can help your team get social in seconds, honestly, with just a few clicks of a button. So today I'm going to walk you through two really important aspects of the product. The first one being how to get up and running very quickly, hands-free, with a super lean team. If you've only got a few people on your marketing team and you need to run this basically hands-free, the entire first part of this tutorial is going to be great for you and for your team. Even if you're not running hands-free, even if you're getting really involved in the content and the content manufacture, you'll still want to watch the first part because there's a lot of cool power moves that can help you shortcut that, make that faster for your team. And the second part of the tutorial video is going to explain to you how to get really stuck in, how to drill down, create team campaigns, schedule content in advance for your team, and really get the most out of the automation tools that we think can help you succeed in the future. So let's get right into it. This is Mission Control. This is our calendar. And we'll come back to this, but just very quickly, gives you the opportunity to drag and drop content directly onto your calendar and schedule content as far in advance as you want. This is my April calendar. You can go into May, June, July. You can go as far out as you would like to, schedule as far into the future as need be. Second part here is our content section, and this is exactly what you would expect from any basic sort of employee advocacy tool. This is where we gather all of the content in a way that is shareable for your entire team. You can share it to your Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any social network that you can imagine. But here's one of the things that you might want to do, again, if you're operating in that sort of hands-free world, is you might want to have your feeds come in from your various locations in an automated fashion. So instead of having to create that content piece by piece, our system's intelligent enough where you can add a feed, and we will, once a day, as you can see here, at different times we're going to different feeds, we'll go out to those feeds for you automatically and grab that content and create a bite-sized post that's ready for your team to share. So for example, I've got our social horsepower blog right here, which you can see on the screen, but we're also bringing in content from QuickSprout, which is a trade journal that makes a lot of sense for our team. Same with Keshmetrics, Marketing Land. We're also capable of monitoring Google Alerts, all kinds of stuff. And I'm just going to pop in here. We can bring content in from your Facebook page, your Twitter feed, your LinkedIn corporate page, basically any RSS feed that you can imagine, YouTube channels. And if you've got job openings even from eRecruiter or Greenhouse, and we've got a few others coming down the pipe, we can go and grab those job openings, and in a fully automated fashion, we can bring that content into here for you, so you have to do nothing. It's kind of a set it once and forget it. So if you're a lean marketing team, like I mentioned before, you don't have a lot of time and you don't want to keep your hand on the wheel of this thing, you can have all of this content come in an automatic fashion, and it'll automatically go to your team. We offer a new feed content and fresh content feed, and I'll just pull up that email. Just give me a second here. So yeah, so here's an example of a fresh content email that we will automatically send to your team. And what our system does, either on a daily or weekly basis based on your settings, is we will automatically create this email and send it out to your team to just give them kind of a gentle reminder that there's great new content for them to share. We will also deliver that directly to our mobile app, so you'll be able to see fresh new content directly on your handheld mobile device. And yeah, that's the totality of what you would need to do in order to manage the entirety of this system. Create the content feeds, have them come in an automatic fashion, and our system will just automatically let your employees, your users, your sales reps know that there's fresh new content waiting for them to share, and they simply log in and share that content. Now, Where we think this gets exciting, where we think this is kind of a special and unique offering is our calendar. So I'm going to come back to that and show you a couple neat little tricks that we have with the calendar that I think will be really helpful. So I showed you earlier that you can simply drag and drop content onto your own calendar, and every single person that is a Social HP member, whether you're an administrator or just a regular member, has access to their own visual calendar like this one. And where this kind of gets neat is you can help your other friends and employees and work colleagues manage their Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. So obviously Brad is a busy rep. He's my business partner here, my co-founder. Maybe he's busy. Maybe he's on the road this week. Maybe he's traveling. Maybe he's forgetful. There's kind of a million reasons why Brad might not be able to manage his own social media presence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help him out a little bit. So what I've just done in about 2 seconds here is I've helped Brad manage his Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn by just simply dragging and dropping content onto his calendar. So of course Brad can log in anytime, click in to the content, personalize it if that's what he wants to do and feels like doing. But other than that, if he doesn't want to do anything, if he wants to go, we call it autopilot. If he wants to go completely hands-free, he can do that. Have a fully white glove managed solution where he's not involved in his social media presence, but of course he's enjoying all the benefits of being a regular poster on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So I've got a second kind of calendar, and if you can just kind of keep this in the back of your mind for a few minutes, because there's going to be a neat little reveal, a little trick I'm going to show you at the end of this. And what I've got is I got Isabel here. As you can see, she's got a lock on her calendar, so we're going to flip to her calendar. And again, very obvious that it's locked. All of her posts are in red here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a suggestion for this empty spot right here for Isabel. And what you can see here very clearly is her calendar's locked. So what's going to happen is I can't post on her behalf, but I certainly can schedule a post at an appropriate time to give her the right cadence, to pick the right content for her, to make sure that she's got the right structure and framework. And what our system is going to do now is, because it's locked, it's smart enough to send Isabel a quick email saying, hey Isabel, pretty pleased with sugar on top. Can you just log into the system, have a little look at this and approve this by pushing the approve button. It's actually even easier than that, to tell you the truth. She's just going to have an approve button right in her email, or a reject button. So yeah, what that allows us to do from a social media perspective is help some of the people who are a little more particular about their Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn personal presence, but at the same time offer structure, guidance, and assistance in those times when maybe these people need a little more help or aren't sure what to say. And of course, just like with the other type of calendar, it's very simple for her to click in, personalize that post before it goes out. So all that lends itself to kind of an interesting concept that we have here, which is our content scheduler and our campaign scheduler. And if I wanted to now, and this is where we think this stuff gets really exciting, if I had a whole team of folks and I wanted them to share that piece of content, and I wanted that piece of content to go out in a very organic fashion over the course of a week, with just a few simple clicks of the button, I have now scheduled that piece of content to go out on 26 people's calendars. Now, of course, our software system is sophisticated enough to know that Isabel's calendar is locked, so it's not actually going to post on her behalf. It's going to set that calendar reminder for her, and reminders, give her an email when it's time for her to log in and approve, versus someone like Brad and Alan who have their calendars set to autopilot. Now, for those folks, you're automatically just going to post on their behalf. There's nothing that needs to be done. So as you can imagine, this becomes a very powerful tool now. With just a few simple clicks of the button, you can plan an entire month's worth of content scheduling in just a few simple clicks. And that's where we think that this product gets really, really special, is you've got the opportunity to, on a calendar by calendar basis, get myopic. And maybe you have a group of C-level employees, like your CEO, your CTO, your VP sales. Maybe you want to go into their calendars and manage those calendars on a calendar by calendar basis. And maybe you've got 5,000 employees who are your rank and file, you can still have all 5,000 of those folks post a piece of content with minimal friction from your staff. So we've had lots of companies who've talked to us about adoption and retention rates, and what ends up happening is everybody has the best intentions. We're all going to log in. Yes, we're going to do this as a team. And of course, the inevitable happens. People fall off. It's difficult to maintain that. It's difficult to stay consistent over the course of the year. And our system removes that friction point completely. Now, your absolute best social media manager is your social media superstar. They're sitting in the driver's seat, and they can help the entirety of your team manage their Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, while still giving each individual employee complete and utter control. So I'll show you one more neat little trick before I wrap this up, which is our content spinner. So this is maybe not the best piece of content for this example, but if you've got a piece of content, we support multi-message as well as multi-image. So you could drop a bunch of images in here. Multi-message, multi-image, content spinning. So you can see here, it's one piece of content with multiple messages and multiple images. And the reason why that's important is once you're using the scheduler, any piece of content that has more than one image and more than one message, and there's n number of messages and n number of images that you can put, our content spinner will automatically spin and give you a randomized message and image. So when you post 5,000 people, a piece of content for 5,000 people, with our content spinner, you can, and with our date range finder, you can make it look really, really organic. So this is a problem we faced here internally, and we call it the adjacency problem. So obviously you don't want Jen to have the exact same message as Alexander, and that's how we've solved that kind of adjacency problem. So two of the kind of key concepts that we think we've really defeated are retention, adoption, and then of course this adjacency problem. So if your goal is to have a large group of folks and you want to help them manage their Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn from a centralized location in a really structured fashion that's measurable with low friction, then I would say that Social Horsepower is probably the right answer for you. If you've got any questions about pricing, questions about any of the other products that we offer, like newsletter, our visitor tracking, or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us, email or phone, whatever works best for you. And of course, just to show you one last thing before we take off, one of the most attractive things about our product is our pricing, which is probably fractional compared to what else you've seen out there, and is the only transparent pricing in the industry. So it's right here across the top of our website. You can see our pricing anytime. And like I said, thanks again for listening. And if you need any help, feel free to reach out to us anytime.